Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Who They Are. Today, we are going over some characters that are very experimental, to be honest. They don't have the most concrete past. It's complicated. So, I think not all four of them. There's one outlier, but still, they're very experimental. They reside within the horrible universe where Jackie Mill Purple and Armorelli, all those guys reside. And Dr. Richard Ossenberg, we can't forget about him. Anyways, Stormblade. Well, for one, he's the god of lightning, am I right? Let me just... Okay, so I wanted like a Raiden sort of character, but I didn't want to make him, like completely like Raiden. So I thought, hey, let's have like this lightning magician, I thought that could have been a cool addition to the team, but he's also a god. So he'll have this. So what I'm thinking for his personality, maybe he'll just act, because if he acted all serious all the time, wouldn't be that entertaining, would it? So why not make one of the stronger gods within this universe more comedic, more funny? We'll have him all the wisdom and knowledge, but presenting it with charisma, So there's that. Like I said, there's not that much to go over because he doesn't have a concrete story. There's all these ideas that, he's the leader of, he's also made his character, not his character, it's a species. He, as well as all the other gods, made a whole species, which once upon a time did inhabit the earth. Now they reside within, like all the gods reside within, the divine moon. It's literally literally a hidden, picture this hidden moon, right? With all of these different elements resembling symbols, alright? And picture those symbols as made through houses, and they're all over the moon. And his house, in particular, is at the top of it. So I don't know, like, all of this, the gods themselves will have interactions with Jackie Mill Purple, especially. Him and the god of mischief of this universe will be very interesting. There's not that many. Well, there's like I think there's gonna be near a dozen of these guys. So, well, at least in this universe, we have to remember that there's so many different universes, timelines. Eventually, I'm gonna dive into alternate dimensions and how that works. It's complicated. It's not like Worlds of Random where it's just 3 worlds. It's hundreds of worlds. Well, 21 universes. Well, it's one big multiverse with 21 different universes. Well, 22 if you want to count the skit universe, which is kind of uncanon, but and there's all these different alternate dimensions, right? So picture 21 different lines going straight, right? One might be shorter, one might be longer. That, hey, yo. But, picture those lines, alright? Then there's gonna be fewer, like, somehow, picture, like, 10 more lines within those lines. That's what the dimensions are. But imagine that those 10 lines can be a lot more than just 10. They can be infinite. I think there's infinite dimensions within 22 different universes. So it's technically still infinite, but it's times 21, so 22. Oh god, it's so complicated. Anyways, what I mean to say is that his fate could change, but what his overall thing is that he is the god of thunder and lightning. He is one of the strongest gods ever in the Hearthstone universe. And he is a magician as well. Next character we got up Jeffaroth. Okay, so this was the one outlier I was talking about. He's a very cocky Overlord master fighter. This is very similar to something we all know. Of course, there's the Overlord that I need to make him different. Maybe he'll have more a sympathetic story. I honestly don't remember what I had. You know what? Let me just check real quick. I'm gonna check right here. I'm gonna see if I have anything for Jeffaroth of any kind, because he just sounds similar to the Overlord from the main series. So there has to be something else, right? But his design looks cool. I mean, a lot cooler than the Overlord's. He's a demon king, so there's that. He's also got connections with his son. So he's a father. Well, Overlord's a father, but he doesn't really care about his kids. Maybe he does it for the good of his kids. You guys have to recognize that there's so many stories, and you don't want to make the same story. Eventually, you will repeat material, but until then, you want to try to avoid that, you know? This is what I want to do for a living, so I have to make sure I get it down. Like, even if I have to, like, you know, run away from this dream, it's not even a dream, it's what I'm supposed to be. So I have to do this. Alright, Jeffaroth's childhood has been very intense ever since the beginning training to be the new Demon King. And as soon as he has completed so many challenges, with ease he built up a lot of arrogance and soon enough became the Demon King. And while his father retires, Jeffaroth finally could achieve his dreams of seeing what the world had in store for him. Then he started causing chaos. He met with a beautiful woman, then became wife and husband. A few years later, they had a child called Glorious. Then he went back to his devilish ways with his son, and he and his wife got in a fight. So, this guy is very different from the Overlord in a lot of different ways. First of all, the Overlord was given all this power, and of course he was, well, the Overlord was given more power and didn't have to earn it. He just found it. Remember the Overlord in Zip's universe? It's complicated. Basically he got this dimensional weapon. He barely knew the capabilities that he had with it. And he lived for a whole millennium. Alright, so he's not only stronger, he's older. I wouldn't say wiser or smarter, but Jeffaroth had to earn his strength. Yeah, and he wasn't the first Demon King. He was just one of the many demons within the Nether realm. Well, within the Nethers. And this arrogance was built up. While the Overlord was built up after, recognizing his abilities, Jeffaroth's arrogance was built up after each victory. Over and over, he started ranking up the W's. And then he went to see the world and what it got him. And he actually retires for a minute. Like, when I say he starts to cause chaos, I'm not sure what I mean. Maybe he's because he doesn't know what's right or wrong, right? Overlord knows what's right or wrong because, he's quite frankly he's been in the he's lived. His origin, the Overlord's origins in Zip's story are that unknown. Jeffaroth's origins was just violence, embers, and he wanted to get out of it. And wanted to see what the world had in store for him. And he took a few days off to fully embrace that. But he doesn't really know what's right or wrong, because for all of his lifetime, even before that, he has literally been living in the wrong. So of course he's gonna start causing chaos because he doesn't know what chaos is. He thinks chaos is normal. Until he met his wife, soon to be wife, and that's how Glorious came into existence. And once he was slowly realized what was right or wrong, but he still did some scummy stuff in the background, and that resulted in him he did it in the background with Glorious, his son. Then his wife got in a fight with him and broke up. So that's how, so he is more sympathetic right? Well, both were extremely strong rulers. Let's be honest, the Overlord does not care about anyone but himself. And a Demon King isn't really looking for power because, well, he has all of it. But the Overlord, even with all this power, and when others want to give him more, his eyes glow with his purple, with his lavender. They glow and they glow until he gets. They glow even more when he gets the power. So Jeffaroth isn't power hungry. It's hard to. Yes, the old Demon King did awful things, but he was one of the more oblivious out of all the Demon Kings. He didn't really know what was right or wrong. He didn't know what was chaos and what was order. And he slowly had to learn it from all the torturing he's had to do to people for his, well, role to remain, for his power to remain. But once he lost, he physically, out of all the torture, he never really had anyone to be companions with. And once he lost his wife, well, you can't just. It's like taking away something that they're attached to. They let you have a while to attach to them, and then they walk away. That broke them, so he went back to break others. So I think we can all say that he is. Well, there is some similarities. He is far from the same. These guys are far from the same. This guy is literally, well, the devil. Evil, if you will. That is literally his name. So, what I have planned for him, evil is in the... Evil is in the Marvel universe. So, pretty much, this guy, what I have planned for him is that he is not actually the devil, and God in this universe is not actually God. What I mean by that is that they can be hurt. There are limits. While he's not what he seems he is, while he does put on an act to be this sort of figure that is known in literally everything, he's just not that. He wasn't always that, pretty much. They both got the power from the multiversal trinity. And the multiversal trinity got the power from, well, the god of the multiverse, the one who started the multiverse, but the multiversal trinity expanded it, which eventually led to them making gods that could handle the universes. In the background, I think that's where I'm going with this. So while there might be certain universes that don't have that much that much, so there might be a god within the Project Death universe. There might be a devil within the Konakio family universe. There's ultimately gonna be some way, like there's gonna be protectors. There's gonna be managers for everything, pretty much. Anyways, evil is just, well, evil, pretty much. For the whole, since the birth, well, it's not since the birth. He was literally made to take a path on who he wanted to portray himself as. There were two options. It was either this or other. And before he could choose the obviously better option, he was tricked. I think that is brilliant. By this guy right here. I think that would make perfect sense. I mean, him being tricked and having this resentment for him. So ultimately, his partner, well, his enemy was the first trickster. He learned from his enemy, pretty much. And he just always been on the opposite side. Next we got, this is the worst name out of them all, Mage Cage. So, of course we got Johnny. We need a Johnny Cage for every single universe. And I decided for this one, maybe this actor wants the same thing to be recognized as this martial artist star that they portray themselves as, but they actually, like, they're not as strong as they portray themselves as. So, and when they try to prove themselves and they embarrass themselves on the internet, how they get their powers though. I want their powers to be like they can, well, basically manipulate their green energy to any way possible. Like, so it's pretty much willpower, like Green Lantern ring, where they can summon in green. So they're gonna be charismatic, of course, but they're not gonna be arrogant because, well, everyone laughs at them. And I'm not sure how they get their powers. That will have to be showed in another time. So tell me, which character was your favorite? Which character are you interested in the most? All right. Any questions? Leave them in the comment section below. Any ideas? Leave them in the comment section below. Any theories? Like, if you want to just leave anything, I don't care, and I'll read it. Have a nice day. See ya, pretty much. I'll see you next week. That's what I should have said. Bye.